What you just heard was a sound test for the NuPhy Air75 low profile mechanical keyboard with Gateron brown switches. Now, this keyboard is super nice, and the TLDR is I think it's probably one of the best mechanical keyboards out there for the money, for macOS, and for low profile. So it's a really, really awesome keyboard. However, it does set you back at a pretty decent premium at $120 US. Whereas something like a mechanical keyboard from Keychron, which also does macOS mechanical keyboards, will only set you back between $60 and $80 depending on which one you get. However, this one is really nice. The branding on the box is super tight. It does have this little like anime character on the back, so they're kind of into anime feel branding, but it's really clean and it's really tight, and I like the way it looks. So inside this sleeve, you have the box, which has the front of the keyboard. This is what the keyboard looks like, and then also the back of the keyboard. And then inside the box, you're gonna get a braided USB-C cable to connect it to your computer if you wanna use a wired connector or connection, or if you just wanna charge it. You're also going to get some like test Gateron switches. So it comes with a red switch, a blue switch, and a brown switch, as well as, I don't know if you can see that very well, but as well as a mechanical or a 2.4 gigahertz receiver. And then these are little rubber feet that you can replace on the back of the keyboard if you want. Then they also come with replacement keycaps if you want to switch over to Windows, which it does have a setting for Windows OS if that's something that you want to do. And then the last thing it comes with is a key cap puller as well as a key switch puller if you wanted to switch out your switches. Now these are Gateron low profile switches, so you'll notice that they have a little bit of a different, see, there you go. So they're pretty low profile, they're really tiny. And so I don't know if you could switch out normal size switches, but it might be something worth trying because the keyboard itself is in fact hot swappable. So this is what the keyboard itself looks like. So that's the front, and then on the back you can see that they have these little magnetic feet that you can just pop on there, and it doesn't give it very much of an incline. Again, the goal here is to be low profile, so it doesn't have a very aggressive angle for you to type on. But it's enough, you know, I think it's quite comfortable. And I'm used to using, you know, pretty steep incline. I have a Keychron and I crank that thing out so it gives me the full incline. But I find this is really comfortable and I don't have any trouble reaching the keys up there. So I don't think it needs any more incline than it already has. So that's really awesome. Like I said, you can see here, that it has an option to use Windows or Mac OS, and then you have the option here to go wireless, wired, or 2.4 gigahertz receiver. And so, oh no, this is an off switch. I've just always used it in wired, just because I think that is the way that I don't ever have to charge it, because I'm not a big fan of charging things. So I just keep it plugged in pretty much all the time. Now, even though it says that it uses Windows or it has an option for Windows, I would probably recommend buying a Windows keyboard specifically. I've had some issues using Windows keyboards for macOS. I know they're technically like compatible, you can use them. You just have to get used to a little bit of a different mapping. But problems that I've had with other mechanical keyboards is this function row. All of these keys, these are mapped for Mac OS media, right? And so all of those second layer keys are mapped for Mac OS, and I think there might be some compatibility issues if you were to use it for Windows. I could be wrong about that. If you've used this keyboard before on Windows, then go ahead and let me know your thoughts there. Now, as far as the overall build and feel, it's really rigid. So this top case, which you can kind of see the divide there. So the gray part, that space gray part, is in fact aluminum, and then the black part down below is plastic. And it's kind of this translucent plastic. I don't know if you can see that super well. There we go. And then it's got this metal black back plate, which is super cool. But it's kind of translucent, which is cool because it gives me like Nintendo 64 vibes. Now, the keycap profile is like, I want to say it's XDA, but it's a little bit flatter than XDA. Now, what I'm talking about is that most mechanical keyboards are going to have a pretty aggressive curve, and this is called an OEM profile. So let's see if I can show you there. So this is an OEM profile. You'll see it has a pretty aggressive curve there. And then XDA is significantly flatter. So it's in addition to being a shorter key, right, if I were to put these up side by side, you'll notice that the OEM is in fact a thicker key, and the XDA profile is significantly flatter. And the profile on these keycaps is even flatter than any XDA key that I've seen before, which I actually like. You know, most membrane keyboards have really flat keys. They don't have dips inside each of the keycaps. And so I'm a big fan of using XDA keycaps because I think they just feel really good. But I'm less accurate with XDA keycaps. So if you are somebody that prefers OEM, an OEM profile, then this might not be the keyboard for you, or you'll have to switch out the keycaps when you get the keyboard. And at that point in time, maybe just start with a different keyboard. I don't know. And then the keycaps are so light that I feel like the actuation force is a little bit higher for these keycaps instead of other keycaps I've tried. Even other keyboards with Gateron brown switches, I just feel like I have to press down a little bit harder. Now, I actually like that because I'm used to really just like thwacking the keys as I use them, but that might be something to consider for yourself. Overall, I think I really like this keyboard. Like I said, I think it's probably one of the best keyboards you can get out there that, you know, bog standard, it's gonna come and work and do really well, and it just feels really good to use. In fact, I have a mechanical keyboard. This is a Keychron K10 that I use pretty consistently anytime I'm working inside spreadsheets, but when I'm writing, which I do quite often, I'll move this keyboard to the side and plug this keyboard in for writing because I think it just feels that good to use. So I would totally recommend this one. I am not sponsored, by the way, by NuPhy at all, although I wouldn't mind if they sent me free keyboards. This is 100% totally unbiased. It's just my opinion on the matter. I would totally recommend it. So thank you so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and we'll see you in the next one.